All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're tackling the Indian diaspora,
Okay.
but we're going to try to go a little deeper than those typical success story
Yeah, all
headlines.
right.
And we're going to be focusing on this really interesting article about India's Pravasi Bharatiya Divas, or PBD event.
hmm
Uh, it's pretty packed with some thought-provoking stuff.
Yeah.
So are you ready?
Yeah. Let's unpack it. I think this is going to be particularly fascinating for you, actually, given your family history with migration.
Hmm.
We're talking about a diaspora of over 35 million people.
Wow.
That's 15.85 million non-resident Indians and NRIs, and then another 19.57 million persons of Indian origin, or PIOs. I mean, that's bigger than the population of a lot of countries.
That's wild. And the article talks about their success, right?
Mhm.
Like integrating seamlessly into different societies, contributing to their communities, giving back to India.
Yeah.
But it's not just individual achievements, is it? It feels like there's a deeper story here about adaptability and resilience.
Absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head there. You think about this Indian origin individuals have become leaders of over 30 countries.
It's incredible.
It's not just about reaching the top, though, right? It's about their journeys. Think
Yeah.
about someone like Kamala Harris in the US or Rishi Sunak in the UK.
Yeah,
They faced incredible challenges, navigating these really complex cultural landscapes, all while holding on to their heritage.
that's a great point. Their stories really show that it's not just about individual drive, but also overcoming these hurdles and finding a way to belong.
Yeah.
But speaking of hurdles, the article also highlights that the PBD event shouldn't just be a big celebration. It kind of hints at some of the real challenges, especially for those who retain their Indian citizenship.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think a big one that we have to talk about is the rise of far-right governments, particularly in the West.
Yeah.
They're making immigration policies a lot stricter, which has a huge impact on Indians seeking opportunities abroad.
Hmm.
Like, take the UK, for example. Their new points-based system makes it so much harder for skilled professionals from India to get work visas.
Right. So celebrating the diaspora's success is important, but we can't ignore these political realities that they're facing.
Exactly.
And what about the impact of global conflicts? The article mentions this too, especially in West Asia, where so many Indians live and work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The recent conflicts in that region have been unbelievably disruptive.
Yeah.
And it's not just about safety concerns either. It's about economic instability and the difficulties of just navigating these volatile situations.
Right.
And it really begs the question, what role should the Indian government play in protecting its citizens abroad?
It's a tough question, for sure. And, the article really emphasizes this need for inclusivity and how India interacts with its diaspora.
Yeah.
But then it drops this bombshell that people are being denied OCI cards for criticizing the government.
Whoa.
Doesn't that seem to contradict that whole inclusivity idea?
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
does. It definitely raises some serious questions about how committed the government actually is to a truly inclusive relationship with the diaspora.
Hmm.
There's this tension there, this balancing act between celebrating the diaspora and kind of trying to control the narrative.
And this leads us to probably the most compelling part of this whole article.
Okay.
It argues that the lack of opportunities in India itself is actually a major driver of this migration.
Right.
So we're over here celebrating success abroad, but it's also a reflection of talent leaving India, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you can definitely look at it that way. It's almost like every engineer that goes to Silicon Valley or every doctor that sets up practice in London is a loss for India.
Wow.
So it forces us to ask the question, what would it take to reverse this brain drain?
Yeah.
Could India create the kinds of opportunities that would actually make staying a more attractive option for these folks?
That's a question with some really tough answers.
Yeah.
So where does all of this leave us? I mean, we've explored the Indian diaspora as this incredibly dynamic force full of success stories, contributions. But we've also uncovered challenges, tensions,
Yeah,
and even maybe a sense of loss for India.
exactly. And, with the world constantly changing, it
Yeah.
makes you wonder, what does the future hold for the diaspora? How will their relationship with India evolve? These are definitely questions worth thinking about, especially given your personal connection to all of this.